Hey Beaumont, Troy here from the library, excited for week 5 of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This week we're dealing with chapters 13, 14, and 15. This week Harry has had a lot of adventures, including winning the Quidditch match with Snape reffing, seeing a dragon being hatched, transporting Norbert to the very top of Hogwarts so that he can be transported to Romania to live a full life, eventually getting caught, and having to do detention with Malfoy in the Forbidden Forest. But I think the key takeaway of these 3 chapters has been Harry figuring out who Nicholas Flamel is and what possibly could be below the trapdoor on the 3rd floor of Hogwarts. So follow us down into the cold dungeon to create the Philosopher's Stone potion. With simple household items, you can create one of the most powerful magical items in the entire wizarding world. Hello everyone, and welcome to Powerful Potions with Professor Troy. Today we are going to be making the Philosopher's Stone, one of the most powerful magical items in the entire Harry Potter world. So come along as we take simple household ingredients to make one of the most powerful potions on the planet. This is borax. It's a white powder used in Muggle laundry to disinfect and deodorize, but in the wizarding world is the basis of our Philosopher's Stone. We're going to use this borax and our boiling water to create a super saturated potion in which our Philosopher's Stone is going to emerge. This process is also great because you can substitute borax with sugar or even salt, and given enough time, crystals will also form in that solution. That solution, if you use sugar or salt, would be edible, though sugar is probably preferred over salt. Now that our water is boiling, we're just going to tap the kettle again to turn the water off, and then we're going to create our potion. So, with your borax, you're going to take about 3/4 of your amount and dump it in a larger receptacle. Now, this is a 2-cup Pyrex, and you are probably going to shoot for about a cup or a cup and a half of water from your kettle. So let me pour that in without making that much of a mess. That's about a cup. And then you're gonna stir. So while that's settling, let's make the basis of our stone. You're gonna need some pipe cleaners. I just have a couple here. You're gonna make any shape you want. So we're shooting for a stone for this size, so I'm just going to do just random shapes, I guess. I'm just going to do a couple figure 8s. I feel that would work pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. Approximately stone-like. Now you're going to need some thread or thread. I have some butcher's twine here. It's food safe, but since this isn't edible, you don't actually need it. To be food safe, we're just going to snip a little bit off. And then at some point, we're just going to thread it through. Essentially, at this point, your Philosopher's Stone potion is complete. You can add food coloring to this base if you want to change the color of your stone, or if you're going the sugar route, you can add flavorings like a Kool-Aid package. But from this point, we're just going to transfer this to a better container, this one right here. We're going to lower our stone form into it, and then we're just going to let it cool. So, hopefully this doesn't make that much of a mess. Look at that magic, changing the colors. We're just going to stir this potion just a little bit. Now that you've added color to your Philosopher's Stone potion, it's time to move on to the final step. We're going to take the Philosopher's Stones we made out of pipe cleaners earlier, tie a string onto them, and lower them into the potion. The magic happens when the potion cools, as the borax crystals attach to the pipe cleaners to create our own Philosopher's Stone. Set it aside and wait a couple hours and watch as the crystals grow.
I found him, Harry whispered. I found Flamel. I told you I'd read the name somewhere before. I read it on the train coming here. Listen to this. Professor Dumbledore is particularly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for the discovery of the 12 uses of dragon's blood, and his work on alchemy with his partner Nicholas Flamel. Hermione jumped to her feet. She hadn't looked so excited since they got back the marks for their very first piece of homework. Stay there, she said, and she sprinted up the stairs to the girls' dormitory. Harry and Ron barely had time to exchange mystified looks before she was dashing back, an enormous old book in her arms. I never thought to look in here, she whispered excitedly. I got this out of the library weeks ago for a bit of light reading. Light? Said Ron, but Hermione told him to be quiet until she looked something up and started flicking frantically through the pages, muttering to herself. At last she found what she was looking for. I knew it! I knew it! Are we allowed to speak yet? Said Ron grumpily. Hermione ignored him. Nicholas Flamel, she whispered dramatically, is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone. This didn't have quite the effect she expected. The what? Said Harry and Ron. Oh, honestly, don't you two read? Look, read that there. She pushed the book back towards them, and Harry and Ron read. The ancient study of alchemy is concerned with making the Philosopher's Stone, a legendary substance with astonishing powers. The stone will transform any metal into pure gold. It also produces the elixir of life, which will make the drinker immortal. There have been many reports of the Philosopher's Stone over the century, but the only stone currently in existence belongs to Mr. Nicholas Flamel, the noted alchemist and opera lover. Mr. Flamel, who celebrated his 665th birthday last year, enjoys a quiet life in Devon with his wife Pernell, 658. See, said Hermione when Harry and Ron had finished, the dog must be guarding Flamel's Philosopher's Stone. I bet he asked Dumbledore to keep it safe for him because they're friends and he knew someone was after it. That's why he wanted the stone moved out of Gringotts. A stone that makes gold and stops you from ever dying, said Harry. No wonder Snape's after it. Anyone would want it. And no wonder we couldn't find Flamel in the study of recent developments in wizardry, said Ron. He's not exactly recent if he's 665, is he?
Thanks everyone for watching. There's one more video in this series on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Come back next week when we finally figure out what's below the trapdoor on the 3rd floor. Bye everyone!